All right, fam. It is 10 a.m. Hello, John. Hello, Alex. Can you guys confirm that you can hear me?
Hello.
Fantastic. Alex, I might just ask you a quick favor. I think that invite link that I have just posted from the Ecomi Twitter isn't taking people directly to our server. If you have that link or just the general Veve Discord link, if you want to just drop it on that the last Ecomi tweet for me, that would be great. But generally, I think most people have probably found us here or are already part of the server. So without further ado, I will say a big welcome to everybody. Thank you for joining us today. This is the third Q&A session we are running, and there are two more this week. One on Wednesday at 2 p.m. on Ecomi Twitter Spaces. One on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. on Ecomi Twitter Spaces, and that one will be in Spanish, or predominantly in Spanish, with my broken English in between. So if you don't have a question answered by the end of this session, you are more than welcome to join those ones. We also do have a audio downloads channel in this server, in the Veve server, and you can find the two Q&As that we have already done in there as well. So feel free to head there if you would like more information on this whole process. Now, to get started, obviously most people are aware at this point that we are migrating our entire ecosystem across to Ethereum. And we have done that through Immutable X. Now, there's a few important things to understand when it comes to this process. And the first thing I really want to reiterate is that this isn't a scary thing. This isn't something that is that technically complicated. The whole point of these Q&As is obviously to bring you up to speed on how it will take place and which option or options are better for you. But fundamentally, we're just trying to save you some money. Right? If you can forward plan enough and decide how you want to use your tokens in the future, you can save some money on gas and throughout this process. So, to get started, there are 3 articles on the Ecomi blog, medium.com/Ecomi, if you haven't seen them yet. One literally says start here in the title. Then you have an article about the 3 swap options. And then the most recent one is a detailed walkthrough on how to use the chain swap site. So we'll start with the very first one. The primary thing to understand when it comes to the Omi token migration, and I will make that clear, the NFTs have already been migrated to Immutable. So this is all about the Omi token. The primary thing to understand there is that Veve lives on layer 2, which is immutable. The Omi token dominantly lives on layer 1. And that's important because when we're swapping these tokens, depending on which option you choose, you can swap to layer 1 or layer 2 ahead of time. So, layer 1 lets you use your tokens on exchanges. It is the Ethereum that exists right now, the Ethereum blockchain, and as everybody knows it. So if you are the kind of person who has bought their Omi tokens purely to trade them, being buying and selling on exchanges, you want layer 1 Omi tokens. Now, the easiest way to swap your existing GoChain Omi tokens to the new Omi token, the new Ethereum Omi token, is to send them to an exchange. The exchanges will automatically swap your Omi tokens for you, at which point you can use them on the exchange as you do now. Now, when this takes place, exchanges will likely pause deposits, withdrawals, trading for X amount of time. I can't personally tell you how long they will do it for, as it depends on how long they need to integrate the new token and update your wallets. But it's likely to be 72 hours or something similar, right? Exchanges lose money if people aren't trading, so they're usually pretty quick about it. The second option, and this is for the people who want to use their Omi tokens in the Veve app, right? And when those features are enabled. So using them in the Veve app is for things like the staking program, the Omi utility program, trading or transacting peer-to-peer, so buying and selling in the market with other users, you will be able to do with Omi at some point. Any of those sort of activities. Right? So the easiest way to swap your existing GoChain Omi tokens to the new ERC20 Omi token to use within the app is to send your tokens to your Veve app wallet. Now, this process changes a little bit depending on whether you are an Android user or an Apple or iOS user. So if you're an Android user, you can find your Omi token wallet address inside the Veve app. You can open it on your phone, head to your profile, head to your wallet, your Gem wallet, and you should see an option in the settings there somewhere to toggle on your Omi wallet. That will give you your send and receive address, and you can send your existing GoChain tokens to that address prior to the migration date. Now, the migration date we are working towards is the 27th of January. Okay, so you have about 10 days before that takes place. I suggest sending your tokens either to the exchanges or to your app wallet, probably no later than the 25th. That would be the easiest way to go about it. The important thing to understand between the layer 1 and layer 2 Omi is where you can use them, right? So I've already pointed out that you can use your layer 2 Omi within the Veve app, but once it's there, you cannot withdraw directly to your own wallets. You cannot withdraw directly to an exchange. You cannot withdraw directly to layer 1. What you'll have to do is use our token bridging site, which will happen through the web wallet. That's probably the most important thing. Each time you bridge between layer 1 and layer 2, there will be a gas fee involved. So planning ahead is going to make that easier. Now, just to circle back to what I was saying a moment ago, if you are an Android user, you can find your Omi wallet within the Veve app. If you are an iOS user, an Apple user, you need to use our web wallet. Now, the web wallet domain you'll find in all those articles that we posted, but it is just omi.veve.me. You log in with the same credentials that you use for your Veve app, and just make sure you're entering your email address, not your Veve username. You will receive a 2FA code as usual, and then once you open it up, you'll see your Gem wallet and you'll see your Omi wallet. That is where you obtain your Omi address to send your tokens into the Veve app, if that is the option that you are choosing. So that's the difference between layer 1 and layer 2. Just to reiterate, Veve lives on layer 2. So anything you want to do in the Veve app, including using your Omi tokens, has to be layer 2. Exchanges live on layer 1. So if you want to sell your tokens in the future, trade them between now and when Omi is available in the app, or any of those things, you need them on layer 1. The third option, I should just say both of those options are automatic and free, right? Exchanges will swap your tokens for you. We, being Veve, will swap your tokens for you if they're in the app. And other than sending them to your wallets, which at the moment only takes a little bit of go to use for gas, the expenses are very minimal there. The final option is our manual token swap site. Now, this can be used at any time. You don't need to do anything with this. It won't open until the token migration opens, right? Which again is the 27th of January. But this will stay open indefinitely. And that is primarily because a lot of people aren't as up to speed on what is happening in our ecosystem, right? A lot of people buy tokens and come back 12 months later to see how they're going. So they will always have the option to swap through our swap site to the new ERC20 Omi token. The main difference really is that you need a deeper understanding of crypto and wallets to use the swap site, and you'll have to pay gas in ETH, right? And ETH gas fees, as most people know, can be quite exorbitant. And a transaction like this, which is creating a new token, will require more gas. They tend to be more gas intensive than just sending wallet to wallet. So while this swap site will be open indefinitely, if you would like to save some money, if you already know how you want to use your Omi tokens in the future, it is likely that the automatic swaps are going to be the best choice for you. So, other than people who might miss the migration window and aren't as plugged into the ecosystem, there are a few other groups of people who will probably want to manually swap their tokens. Okay. The first of those groups is anyone holding the wrapped Omi token, or WOMI. Probably, I think it was around April last year, we created a way to put Omi onto Uniswap, and that involved wrapping it in an ERC20 wrapper. Now, if you went through that process when that site was open, it's essentially the same process to swap from wrapped Omi to the new ERC20 Omi token. If you haven't used that process before, and you might have purchased wrapped Omi on Uniswap in the past 8 months, please check out these instructions. It will show you how to use the site. It's a detailed walkthrough. It will help you swap your tokens. The main point to reiterate here, or to understand, is that you cannot send your wrapped Omi tokens to the Veve app to be swapped. You also cannot send it to exchanges because they don't use or trade the wrapped Omi token. So anyone holding Womi, the manual swap site is your only option to swap to the new ERC20 token. The third group of people who would be interested in using the manual swap site, and that domain is chainswap.ecomi.com. It won't be live until next week, are those that are security conscious. So obviously sending your tokens to an exchange, they'll swap them for you, but exchanges are still vulnerable to hacks and exploits. So if you're holding large sums of Omi or large value, or you don't mind paying an ETH gas fee for improved security, the token swap site is your best option. So just to reiterate, the manual swaps, if you miss the migration window, if you're holding the wrapped Omi token, or you're security conscious, that manual swap site is your best option, and those instructions are on the blog. I will release a video walkthrough as well, but not until that swap site is live. So if you haven't seen those instructions, please go and check them out. For everybody else, if you haven't thought too much about this yet, what you're really trying to establish is if you want to use your Omi tokens in the Veve app and how many tokens you would like to have there. If you can decide that ahead of time, you can send them to your Veve app wallet before the 27th of January, and we will swap them over for you. Now, for most people, having some on exchanges and some in the app is probably going to be the best call, right? I know that everybody likes options, and as I mentioned, you will be able to move them between layer 1 and layer 2 through the web wallet, but that won't open until after the token migration is complete. So just a few things to be aware of there. I know that's quite a mouthful, but we'll take some questions and hopefully we cover all bases on that front. John and Alex, any preliminary questions? Anything from the audience?
Yeah, I think generally it's important for people to understand the different use cases, but can you quickly go over those who have maybe stored their Omi in a soft wallet like Trust Wallet or even harder cold storage wallet?
Absolutely. So anybody who is holding Omi tokens in their own wallet, being one that you control the private keys for, you will have to participate. Okay, we don't have access to those wallets. We don't have any sort of control over your funds. You are in complete control of those tokens. So if you're using Trust or the secure wallet, or you're storing them on Ledger through My Ether wallet or any of those things, you will have to use one of these three options. Again, that is exchanges, the Veve app, or the manual swap site. In order to do so, you need some Go tokens for gas. Okay, the same way that you need ETH to send any ERC20 token, on the Go chain blockchain, you need Go to send any Go20 token, which Omi currently is. Now, one Go token, I think, is good for about 5 transactions. Right? It should cost about 0.2 Go. So really, you probably need half a Go token to make this happen, right? And I say half a token because you should all be sending test transactions anytime you send crypto. So if you hold your Omi in your own wallet, you'll need to choose one of these options, right? If you choose to manually swap them later, you can do that in 6 months' time. It truly does not matter. It just means you won't be able to trade those tokens or use them anywhere until you swap them to the new ERC20 Omi token. So just to go back to what I mentioned earlier, if you are an Android user, you can find your Omi wallet inside the Veve app. If you're an iOS user or an Apple user, you need to log into the Veve web wallet, which is omi.veve.me. It will give you your Omi token address, and you can start by sending a small test amount to that address. Anything else to cover there, Alex, do you think?
No, I think that does it. Thank you very much.
No problem. I have seen a few people asking for Go tokens because they think they need them for their NFTs inside the Veve app. So I want to make that clear that you do not need Go chain tokens to be able to send around or do anything with your collectibles in the Veve app. You only need Go to pay for the gas to send your Omi tokens from your own wallets to the exchange or to the Veve app.
Sweet.
Awesome. Anything else, John, on your end?
Yeah. So, and regarding the Go tokens here within our Discord, if you go under the Get Help category, we have a Get Go token channel. So for anyone who needs Go tokens, feel free to put your address there, and someone from our team will send that to you. So question for...
There are some good Samaritans in that channel that are donating to the cause. So doesn't hurt to ask, but obviously use discretion and do not give anything other than that information, than that address.
Yeah,
correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Reese, thank you for unpacking everything for everyone again. This being you've run through this a few times for us. So can you do your verbal gymnastics and just draw a really elegant line between the difference between the migration and bridging? So I'm seeing this question come up a lot, that sometimes some of those things are running concurrently, and just elevate some of the key differences between the two.
Sure thing. So the migration is really referring to this initial token swap, right? And the migration, it will be the majority of Omi tokens will move across to the new Ethereum chain within the first week, I would say. So that is referring to the exchanges swapping tokens for you. It is also referring to us swapping your tokens if you have sent them to the Veve app. And of course, the manual swap site later. The bridging process is the ability to deposit your tokens to layer 2, which is Veve, or withdraw them to layer 1, which is the exchanges or your personal wallets. Now, this comes after the fact and after the actual migration, because once everything is over on Ethereum, layer 1 and layer 2 become the differences there. And really, again, that is just a difference between how and where you can use your tokens. So the bridging will take place through the web wallet, again, omi.veve.me. It will interface with your MetaMask, and essentially you are just signing a transaction to say, yes, I want to send my tokens to layer 2 or to Veve, or I want to send them back to an exchange or to my own wallet, which is layer 1. So the token migration is this initial phase. It is the initial swapping from GoChain Omi and wrapped Omi to ERC20 Omi or Ethereum Omi. Once we've made that transition, the only Omi token that we will refer to from that point on is the ERC20 Omi token. The GoChain token will no longer exist once everybody has migrated their tokens at least, and the same with the wrapped Omi token. So from that point, it should become less confusing as there will only be one Omi token. And then the bridging process, again, is if you change your mind, basically. If you change your mind later, or you have just bought some Omi tokens on an exchange, but you want to use them in Veve when those features are enabled, you will need to bridge between layer 1 and layer 2 just to swap between those two.
Awesome. Thank you. Two more, and then Alex, I guess we can open it up here. Here's a question that was sent to me. If I send my Omi to the Veve app for the swap, will I need KYC to withdraw the Omi from the app? I know it was addressed in the last AMA. And part 2, if I send Omi to the app for swap before MTL is available, can I get it on? Can I get it on with KYC? Or I guess, can I get it without KYC?
Okay, so sorry, can you just repeat that last one again?
Yep. So part 2 of the question being, if I send Omi to the app for swap before MTL, is it available without KYC?
Okay, yes. Yeah. So I need to fully confirm this. If you're sending Omi to the app to swap it, there is no KYC until MTL. So if you're sending into the Omi app, we swap your tokens. you can't do anything with them yet. You can't use them in the app, and until we open the bridge site, they will just live in that wallet. Once we do, you'll be able to withdraw them, no worries. The MTL, or the KYC process, is more around cashing out into fiat. However, I do believe there will be some level of KYC once enabled to use any of those sort of financial features. And that's purely because of the AML laws that we have to stick to around the world. There has to be some form of identification if there's any financial services offered. So I think initially you'll be fine. If you haven't used your Omi in the app or those features aren't enabled yet, you will be able to move them around without issue. But once those features are enabled and you want to use your Omi tokens in the app, you will probably have to KYC before you are able to use those features.
Awesome. Thank you.
No
and then just one more on my end, just generally, because I'm sure we'll get some technical questions coming up here, but just generally, can you speak to the various ways that, you know, the team is wanting to create positive pressure on the token, given just some of the general disposition we've seen within the community due to various, you know, things that have come up. One of them being, you know, focusing on the app as opposed to this is, you know, adding to it, but focusing on the app as opposed to quote unquote marketing on the Omi token. So you've spoken to this before, obviously, but, you know, we've gotten a wave of newcomers and they're getting familiar more with the platform. So can you just speak to that a little bit? Just some of the positive pressure, some of the methods that the team is introducing to create positive pressure on the token.
Absolutely. I love talking about this.
I know.
So, look, first and foremost, for anyone new, and even those that have been with us for a while who think we might be focusing on the app too much, it's important to understand that without the app, the Omi token does not exist. So the app has always been the priority, right? And needed to be, because there is no point in having a token if there are no users to use that token. So that has been the focus, and personally, I think we have succeeded quite in quite an incredible fashion so far. And so the flow-on effect for the token is that much greater. Now, on the Ecomi blog, there is the Omi Utility Program version 0.1. This details some of the preliminary uses of the Omi token, one of which is staking. Right? Now, a staking program is literally designed to take tokens out of circulation. Right? It locks them up for a determined amount of time at the user's choice, I should say. Right? It's your choice to participate. But as a reward for performing that action, there are a number of tier benefits that you can obtain. So that would be things like premium market listings, transacting peer-to-peer, participating in the Omi drop raffle. It also is going to include things like access to exclusive releases or certain rarities or tiers and collectible drops within the app, because the Omi token has always been designed as a utility token. That utility is to use it within the app. So the staking program is one way that we are going to put quite significant positive pressure on the token, because it is taking a lot of it out of circulating supply. The second way we put positive pressure on the token is through our burn mechanisms. Now, the whole system isn't in place yet, but in its current design, every time somebody buys an NFT in the Veve store, Omi tokens are being permanently burnt. Right? They come out of the app reserve, but eventually when that system is running, that reserve will need to be topped up from the live token supply. So that's the second way that we go through that. All of these additional utilities of the Omi token within the app also burn the token. Right? So secondary market trading, there will be a fee that burns. Any sort of the Omi utility program, I think we're looking at, you know, if you bid or wager your Omi in a drop, you'll be returned about 90% of them. So there's an extra burn coming from that as well. And obviously, as the Veveverse expands, as our ecosystem expands, there will be a number of other use cases for the token. David Yu has hinted at other protocols wanting to use the Omi token for their platforms, things like that as well. So there's quite a range of features that will be available using the token. Each one of those encourages both the purchase of the token by new users, primarily for benefits within the Veve app, but also reduces the circulating supply, which, not financial advice, obviously, but as we all know in crypto, scarcity tends to have a positive impact on a token value. So hopefully that covers some bases there.
Yes, thank you. And I think part of it too, part of understanding some of the positive pressure that you guys will be creating on the token does require some level of education and understanding of the tokenomics. And that varies from person to person, but I always get super, super excited every time you unpack that, just because it's going to benefit token holders and the platform in general, of course.
Yeah.
So that's it from me. Alex, feel free to start. Well, I guess we brought someone on stage. Dynamite?
Yeah, Dynamite's on stage. Hey, how are you?
Sorry, just before we get to you, Dynamite, I might just throw back to what we were saying a second ago when it comes to token marketing as well, for anyone new. There is no more powerful force than being able to directly market that Omi token within the Veve app. And once those features are live, that is exactly what we get to do. Right now, I think there's, let's just call it 1.5 million active users on Veve and about 170,000 Omi wallets on the GoChain blockchain. So we stand to have the token itself put in front of 10 times the amount of people on day one with verifiable use within the app and advantages within the app that they're already using. So, when it comes to marketing, we can say it and spray it and throw ads around on the internet that nobody pays attention to, or we can move forward with a much more targeted rollout, which is part of the plan. But on that note, Dynamite, how are you? Oh, you might have to enable push to talk on your settings. If anyone hasn't been on stage before, in your little voice. Oh, there we go.
All right, perfect. All right, guys. Hope you're all doing well. I just had a question about the Omi utility program and staking. By my understanding, there's tiers, and within these tiers, you have to have a minimum amount of Omi. Is that correct?
Correct. Oh, it's a minimum dollar value. Sorry, I should say.
Yeah. So my question is, if we are under this value for staking, is there any benefit for users to put their Omi onto the app, or is it better for them to hold it onto an exchange until they have that minimum amount and then?
Yep. Ultimately, it depends on your circumstances. If you have, so the lowest tier of staking at this stage is $1,000 worth. So if you have less than that, you're probably better off keeping them on an exchange or in your own wallets or trading them until you have that tier amount, or until the Omi features are enabled. Right? The Omi features in the app will roll out in stages. I think the first stage will be staking. The second is the drop raffle. The third will be market trading in Omi. And then we roll out a few other things. So, if you have less than that lower tier amount, or you don't want to stake your tokens, you're probably better off holding them on exchanges. The only thing to understand is that when you go to use them in the Veve app later, you cannot deposit them, you can't send them directly into your Veve wallet. You'll have to bridge through the Omi web wallet, and it will cost you ETH gas fees. Now, no one can say how much those fees will be, as the gas fees fluctuate quite wildly. So if you want to use them later in the app and you're going to hold the tokens anyway, you might be better off sending them ahead of time. If you're trying to amass a bigger bag and use them later, or make the decision later, then sure, hold them on an exchange until then.
Okay, so aside from the staking, there will also be additional use for the Omi token that other users can use.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. There are a range of features that will release more details in the next version of the Omi utility program, which I am racing to get out before the migration takes place. But yeah, we'll release those as soon as they're ready.
And in addition to releasing that article, will there be a cutoff date for people to send their Omi tokens to the app?
the 27th of January is the date that we are going to open the migration. So if we work on that date as the final date, I would suggest having your tokens in your app or move to the exchanges by the 25th of January.
All right. Perfect. Thank you for answering the questions.
No problem.
Thank you. All right, let's move on to Epic Corpse Man.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hello.
Cool, thanks for having me. So for people who are going to be using the manual swap site, I know in the last AMA I was briefly there and caught that you said you probably want to wait for like traffic to slow down in the first few days. How long will people have to use that site?
It's open indefinitely, like years, if we need to. Right? We probably won't close it until the very last token has been swapped.
Okay, cool. I think that was my main question was, people who just kind of buy their token, throw it in a wallet and forget about it, if they come back years later.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. They can come back later, do it whenever, but we're not going to cut off people's access to their funds. Now, I will say when anyone is using the manual swap site, it interfaces through MetaMask. But when you return your tokens, say you swap them, and I'm sorry, I will make this very clear. The manual swap site only swaps to layer 1. Okay, that means you can send them back to Trust Wallet or back to your secure wallet. You can then trade them on exchanges, all of those things. But when you send these tokens back to your personal wallets, like Trust Wallet, for example, you will probably have your GoChain Omi address still there and your new Ethereum Omi address. So just triple check that you are sending the new ETH Omi token to your ETH Omi address and not to your GoChain Omi address. And again, I will reiterate, this is why we always suggest sending small test transactions first. Even though it might cost you a little bit in gas, you would rather lose $100 than all of your money. So just be conscious of that.
Cool. That was my only question. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming up.
Great. Thank you. Austin, what's up?
Sorry, I was muted. I don't know why. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, mate. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. So my question is about, there was speculation on that there's going to be more tiers. So I'm trying to figure out how much Omi should I move into the wallet. So yeah, because like if it's worth it, then I will put a lot more in. But if it's not, then I should just split it 50-50 kind of thing.
For sure.
Do you have any insight? Is there going to be more? Because then like I will go and do that right now.
Yeah, that's definitely what we're looking at. I haven't got the final dollar values of them, but it won't be more than 50,000. So let's just ballpark and say if we put 2 higher tiers in, we're probably looking at 25,000 and 50,000. So if you have a bag that's that big and you want to split things that way, that's a pretty safe guess. And of course, if it changes or you change your mind later, you can always bridge between them to use them later. So you might choose to keep them on exchanges or on layer 1 until those features are closer to being live in the app, and then bridge them later. You'll just have to pay the gas fee to do it.
So these 2 tiers, I know you can't disclose anything yet. We're going to make us wait till the Medium article. Is that correct?
Correct. Or did we just lose you, Austin? Yep. Say that again, sorry. You just cut out.
Sorry, yeah, cut out. So I was going to say at 25K and 50K, these tiers must be pretty big incentives for the people, right?
That's certainly the plan, yeah.
Okay. Excited to see it. Thanks, Reese.
I'm excited to send it live. Thanks, Austin. Steelhead Slayer, if you're up here, you may need to push to talk. No sound coming through if you are chatting there, Steelhead Slayer. But in the meantime, Crypto Shank, if you are up here, feel free. Again, guys, if you haven't been on stage before, you may need to enable push to talk through your Discord settings. It basically works like a walkie-talkie where you have to hold the button down to actually for us to hear.
Hello?
Oh, there we go. Yep, got you there now.
Hey guys, thanks. Just a quick question on, I guess, the length of time in which the tokens will need to be staked in the app. I guess, is there a specific time known now, or is it just as long as, I guess, we would like to have the perks for doing so? Thanks.
Yeah, so at the moment, in the current version of the staking tier, I think we determined a lock period, 30, 60, 90 days. I think we will make that available at each tier, so you can select if you would like to stake longer. We're also looking at a bit of a rollover so that you don't have to pay attention to it. And if you're happy to keep those things staking, it will automatically sort of restake them for you every X amount of time, 30, 60 days, whatever you select. So at the moment, the current iteration is a predetermined time of staking. In the next ones, I think the plan is to try to roll out, you can select the block of time. So if you want to stake at tier 3 for 30 days, you can. If you want to stake at tier 3 for 365 days to get extra benefits, you can choose that option too. But all of those details will come out in the next utility program article.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Great. Let's try Steelhead again. You there?
Yeah. It looks like he's talking, but I can't hear anything. Keep him up there.
I think Discord is acting a little funny today. Oh, here we go. All right, Mr. Hilt.
Mr. Hilt.
Hello. Thanks for having me up, guys. Appreciate it. And thank you for hosting these sessions. It's definitely beneficial to be able to get a refresher and for new people in the community. I just got two quick questions. The first one is, right now you can send regular Omi to the Veve web wallet. Can you send wrapped Omi?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. Yeah, the only interactions with wrapped Omi will be through the manual swap site, and it will be to swap it directly to the new ERC20 Omi.
Perfect. And that, to my understanding, is also going to be a 1-to-1 conversion, correct? Like one wrapped Omi equals one regular Omi?
Correct. All of these swaps are 1-to-1.
Okay.
And for anyone using wrapped Omi, thankfully you're already swapping from ERC20 to ERC20, so it should be less gas intensive to do it. Basically, it will cost.
Very interesting. Okay. And then my second question is for the token migration for the swap site itself. If someone does not immediately convert their Go20 Omi tokens to ERC20 standard tokens, could that conceivably create a imbalance in the circulating supply of Omi, or will, for all intents and purposes, Omi that is still on the Go network be considered a part of the circulating supply? You just won't be able to interact with exchanges on it, if that makes sense. Yeah,
the latter. So It's technically still circulating supply as they are Omi tokens in existence, but they basically become unusable until you swap them over. So even though the metrics won't necessarily display them as non-circulating, until those tokens are swapped, they are effectively out of circulation.
Okay, and could we see conceivably like price volatility because of that then? Like if 80% of the people don't swap on day one, would the 20% of people that swap, would that then account for 100% of the circulating supply at that time, conceivably?
Conceivably, yeah, sure. In terms of price volatility, as all the exchanges will be pausing trading to make this.
Oh, true.
It shouldn't affect that.
So I don't need to tell anyone not to swap. Okay, gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much for the info, gents. I can't wait to see OUP V2 when that comes out, and very excited for the migration to finally be happening. So thank you so much.
You and me both. Thanks, Foster. Appreciate it.
All right, Knight Rider.
Hey guys, thanks for the AMA here.
No worries.
Post-migration questions, two of them. How soon will the bridge from L2 to L1 be made available? So from app to exchange, how soon after migration will that be available?
Within weeks, or probably less. Yeah, it should be pretty quick. Just bear in mind that until the Omi features are enabled in the Veve app, you probably don't need to bridge from layer 1 to layer 2. So those swaps will be more if you change your mind and you want to trade your tokens or something like that. But as soon as this kind of migration window is done and dusted, we'll roll out those features to the web wallet.
Thanks. And post-migration, so after, will there be a Veve applicable fee to use the bridge from layer 2 to layer 1? I know there's going to be gas fees, but I'm just wondering if there will also be a Veve applicable fee to use that bridge from L2 to L1.
No, there shouldn't be. No, it'll just be the blockchain network fees as what's actually happening, smart contract functions and interactions. So it'll just be the gas fee on those.
Okay. And will we be able to move Omi layer 2 between app accounts?
Omi layer 2 between app accounts. Theoretically, yes. Yeah, let me confirm that. Yeah, it should be. All the wallets in the Veve app are layer 2 or registered on layer 2. So yeah, I don't see a reason why not. But let me confirm it before anyone tries it.
Perfect. Thanks for answering my questions. Have a great day.
No problem. Thank you. Let me write that down so I don't forget it later. Okay. Bring up the next one if we've got one.
Yeah. John, do you want to pull some questions from the voice chat? And then I'll work on getting some more people up on stage.
Yes. Let me scan through these. Before I kind of scan through these, quick question for you, Reese, for you to kind of shed more light on. So previously, the way we used to generate the transaction ID would cause people to see random amounts of Omi in their wallet. Can you just speak to that a little bit while I kind of sift through these questions?
Sure thing. So in our 2 previous AMAs, I think this has come up, where basically people have seen their in-app Omi wallet and there was an Omi balance there that is no longer there. Now, in all of these instances, it wasn't Omi that people sent into their wallet. It was just a balance that appeared. And that's because the system that we were originally using before we refactored things, basically when you bought an NFT from the store, Omi tokens would move from the reserve wallet through the user's wallet and generate that transaction ID, and then they would go to the burn wallet, right, and out of circulation. Now, when we had that, that system worked great when we had 5,000 users, but in the space of a few weeks, that went up to about 350,000 from memory, and basically broke the app. So a lot of those Omi flows that should have passed through the user's wallet in a matter of seconds got stuck until the devs refactored it. Yeah. So once they fixed everything and sped up the queue and all of that stuff, all of that Omi has now been moved to the burn wallet as it should have been. But if anyone remembers an Omi balance in their wallet that is no longer there, that is likely the case. So the best way to confirm if you have tokens already in your in-app wallet is to use the GoChain block explorer, which is just from memory, explorer.gochain.io. Copy and paste your Omi wallet address into that search bar, and it will tell you if there's actually Omi tokens sitting there. Now, for a very few select users, it may still be displaying a balance that is no longer there. So confirm on the Explorer first if there is actually tokens there. If you have a balance displaying that shouldn't be there, just send a message to our support and they'll sort it out. But I do believe if you then send another small test transaction into your wallet, it will refresh that cached display anyway. So it should update there. Hopefully that answers the question.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's also people wanting and learning to understand the difference between the reserve wallet, the user wallet, the burn wallet, and all the beautiful mechanisms behind it, which I think is really unique to the platform. All right, so let's see here. So this question is pretty straightforward. I think this could lead you into unpacking a few other things too. Some people are asking if they're going to be able to buy Omi from within the Veve app.
Great question. The future iterations or the future plans for the money transmitter, or the MTL as people know it, is indeed to be able to do that. It won't be available for some time. There's a lot of sort of regulatory loopholes and hurdles to jump. But once you can transact with Omi in the app, so peer-to-peer in the market, we definitely want to open up that option to people who are non-crypto, or who don't hold the token. So if I'm in the market, and John, you've listed an amazing Moogly in Omi tokens, and I don't have Omi tokens, the MTL will facilitate a purchase of tokens to then make that transaction. But that will come down the line.
Right. And that's really mind-boggling. Just I can't. Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah.
We've been thinking about it for a while.
Yeah.
What a time.
What a
Absolutely.
time.
All right. Cool. Let's try Steelhead one more time.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
Yeah, we can hear
Welcome.
All right. Yay. Hey, props to you all. Love the app. Love the opportunity. Quick question with the Bitforex site, how they have the different wallets within there, like for the spot account, and then Bitforex has its own wallet. Mm-hmm. Will you be converting whatever wallet on Bitforex?
So we are not the ones converting on exchanges. They will do it themselves. And yes, I would assume they will swap either one. Now, just to maybe educate you a little bit, on Bitforex, the wallet account is where you can deposit and withdraw to. The spot account is where you trade from. Correct. So for you to sell tokens on the exchange, you need to move them from your wallet to your spot account. Now, just for brevity's sake, I would say move everything from the spot account to the Bitforex wallet account. But each exchange will post their own instructions as to when they're going to swap tokens, how long they'll pause trading for. They should point out if you need to have them in one wallet or the other. But as they have access to all of your accounts and your tokens, they can see your balances. It shouldn't make a difference.
Okay, so they're going to actually send out a notice to us as well then?
They should. They'll either, if it's not an email notice, at the very least, most exchanges will add a banner to the Bitforex site. So when you open your Omi wallet, there should be some form of notification to say the Omi token migration is taking place on this day. Deposits and withdrawals will be paused between here and here. There should be some sort of messaging there.
Excellent.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
As soon as I'm aware of it, I'll try to make everybody else aware of each exchange's parameters as well.
Okay, that'd be awesome. Hey, I'm going to ask do we know if there's going to be any new exchanges at this migration, or is it just the current ones?
Yeah, so the existing ones prior to migration. One of the main reasons that this migration is happening is to make it easier to list Omi on exchanges. Integrating GoChain as a brand new blockchain is not an easy task, and obviously once exchanges learned we were going to swap chains anyway, they just said they'd hold out. So once this is done and dusted and the dust has settled, we will pull the trigger on new exchanges.
On the other.
We can't reveal which ones or what we're going after. They're all governed by non-disclosure agreements. But it's top priority for me as soon as this is out of the way.
Okay, awesome. Hey, thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you for coming up. We appreciate it.
Right on. Okay, John, did you have anything else from voice chat? Otherwise, we can move on to the next person on stage.
Yeah, let me touch on one here. Let's see. All right. So, hey, if I have 49K in Omi at the moment and the price fluctuates to 50K and back down, will my tier continue to be lower or will it go higher? Meaning, does the fluctuation of the Omi price affect the tier that the person gets into once they start staking?
Yes, it will. Now, if it drops below the tier you're in, you'll have X amount of days to top it up to maintain that tier benefit. If the value goes up and it's consistently that high, if it never comes back down, then it's a different sort of conversation. But one of the main price stabilization mechanisms is that, right? If the tier incentives are strong enough and the value drops, you're incentivized to add to your Omi bag to maintain those tier benefits. So across the board, that will help to maintain a much more stable token price. But as it's based on the dollar value as opposed to the Omi token value, the Omi token number, you need to maintain the dollar value to maintain those tier benefits.
Awesome. Thanks.
No problem.
Cool.
Analogous brain.
Move on to brain,
yeah. If we have you up here. You may need to push to talk, yeah. Oh, I heard a bit of sound there. Might have you.
We got a little bit of you. You want to try again?
Yeah.
Brain? Push to talk or no? Okay, guess not.
Well, we keep hearing some sound from you there. We get little bits. You have to hold the button if you're pushing to talk there.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for all your work. You guys are always crushing it. My question is more for layman's. I've become like a Veve evangelist, with my family. I've got everybody on board and everything. And everybody's question is basically, with this whole, I don't know whether it's even part of the MTL, this thing that's happening on the 27th of January, but everybody's asking, like, will we finally be able to have like an off ramp for our gems? Like, will gems be able to be converted to Omi in some manner? And not that they're, going to, take them all out or anything, because we've all amassed like a pretty cool collection, but they all want to know if that's what's happening.
So, first point, the MTL is completely separate from the token migration. It's a completely separate integration. Has nothing to do with this process. But it is. We are still testing it. We've opened that group up a few days ago to a few more people, and we were waiting on some final AML sign-offs that our lawyers had to go through. So, just to reiterate, it is a completely separate integration, but it is also very close to being live in the app. Once that is live, that is the avenue to be able to cash your gems back into fiat, being US dollars, Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, whatever it happens to be, and withdraw them to your bank account. Now, in the very early days of the app, the cash out method was the Omi token, right? You could go from gems to Omi and cash out that way. We had to disable that because of AML laws, which is anti-money laundering laws for anyone who may not have heard that abbreviation before. So that bridge between Omi and gems is no longer available. The forward-moving plan is that we run two systems. So you can cash in and out of normal fiat currency to gems and back again, or you can transact with Omi in the app when those features are live. So you can buy and sell in the market purely using Omi tokens, at which point you can then send them to your own wallets or trade them or cash out. So just to clear those points up a little bit, the MTL is separate to this Omi token migration, but it is also close to being live in the app, and that will be your way to cash out once it's live.
So at some point, gems will be obsolete in the app?
No, because most of our users, and the target of Veve has always been for the mainstream audience, most of them don't know what the hell Omi is or what crypto is or any of those things. So no, gems will always be a dominant currency in the app, the dominant currency in the app, because at least at the moment, the majority of our user base is that mainstream non-crypto audience.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem. Manager Karen, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Fantastic.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we've got you there.
So regarding the amount of Omi tokens, I know the utility hasn't been released yet, the V2 so I'm just wondering how much Omi do I need to transfer in to get like the max staking?
So it's not fully confirmed yet, but I don't think we'll have a tier higher than $50,000 worth. So if you want the absolute utmost upper tier, you could probably work on that. We're trying to get this utility program article out before the migration just to confirm those, or at the very least confirm those price tiers. But again, just to reiterate, if it's not enough or if it's too much, you can always bridge back, bridge to Veve or bridge back to exchanges through the web wallet anyway. It'll just cost a little bit to do.
Okay, and also I don't remember if this question has been asked, but if I transfer the Omi within the app, can I transfer it between accounts?
Yeah, so that was asked earlier. I will confirm this before saying yes. But logically, all of the in-app Omi wallets are on layer 2, so I don't see why you shouldn't be able to do that.
All right, thank you.
No worries. Crazy J.
Can you gentlemen hear me?
Got you.
Or is it push to talk? Perfect. Okay, so no push to talk for me. Great.
Amazing.
So I guess my question is, if it's going to Ethereum, I understand you're going to be on layer 2, so there won't be, will the gas fees remain the same, or are there going to be gas fees now? Are there going to be crazy ETH gas fees if we start buying NFTs through the Veve app now, or is that a non-existent issue?
Non-existent. Veve lives on layer 2, and Immutable's layer 2 solution is gas-free. So the Veve app experience will stay exactly the same.
Perfect. And then the other question is, since we're moving to the Ethereum blockchain, I do realize that all the NFTs are going to be on layer 2. Is it then possible, or is this a thought in the future, to be able to migrate your NFTs to the higher layer or to another layer, which then makes them accessible to OpenSea, or will they always only be viable on the Veve app, or will we at some point be able to move them to private wallets as well, just like other NFTs?
Yeah. So another big reason that we are making this move is for exactly that. Interoperability, right? And interoperability, for anyone who is new or hasn't heard that amazing buzzword before, literally refers to your ability to move your NFTs to other platforms or other wallets. So at the moment, blockchain, this technology is going through another transition, and that is the layer 2 ecosystem, right? That improves efficiencies, lowers gas fees, all of those things. So Immutable has their own marketplace, that has quite a number of projects on it already. Safe to assume that will be the first one that we're compatible with. OpenSea needs to launch on layer 2s or on other chains for that interoperability to open. But as that is where the entire industry is moving, yes, that's absolutely the intention and why we're moving to Ethereum now.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, you've answered all my questions. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No worries. Have a great day.
Okay. Let's try to get to one or two more here before we come up on the hour, and then we'll see where we're at. Aston Martin. You there? Push to talk?
I'll just hold the push to talk button to talk there, Aston Martin. Here's a little... Hello, there we go.
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
How are you, bud?
So I got a question. Basically,
just make sure you're holding that push to talk button down, my friend. We're losing you here.
So my question is why did y'all decide to go with Ethereum? Because a lot of people be complaining about the gas fees and all that. So I'm trying to see. I know there's a lot of other cryptocurrencies that are really good, basically, and cost effective. I'm just trying to see why y'all go that route.
Yep, quite a number of reasons. First and foremost, as we just discussed, is the interoperability. Ethereum is no doubt the home of NFTs. It is where the majority of NFT volume takes place and where most NFT marketplaces live. So being able to open access to our NFTs was obviously very important. Number two, Ethereum is the most decentralized blockchain in the world these days. I think it's beating Bitcoin, but let's be real, nobody really uses Bitcoin. So having that security of your assets was very important to us. Number three, and I think this is something that people really don't understand about Ethereum. Gas fees are high. They are high on the layer 1 chain or the existing Ethereum chain, but that is because the demand is so high, right? High gas means high demand. the user experience, what we will all use as Ethereum, is not meant to be on layer 1. It's not the existing Ethereum chain. All of the user experience is going through this transition at the moment to layer 2, which is where immutable X lives. Right? So we know that. We understand that. We understand that that is where the majority of new people to crypto will actually onboard to. Straight to layer 2s, not to the expensive layer 1. So looking ahead to that transition, making it now for us made the most sense, as that is where the majority of users will live when using Ethereum. So these high gas fees on the base chain, yes, they're expensive, but they're expensive with good reason. And in the next 6 to 12 months, as more users move to layer 2, they become pretty irrelevant anyway. Now, for us specifically, as I said, Veve will stay exactly the same. It lives on layer 2 already, so you don't need to pay gas fees to buy and sell your NFTs there. And it is only going to be in the short term that you need to pay ETH gas fees to move your Omi tokens around.
Okay, so yeah, because I really like what you guys are doing and all that. But I would say like maybe XRC20 will be okay. Just a better route. Because the gas fees are too expensive. Like literally, I bought an NFT the other day, and I got it for like what, $200 plus another $200 for gas fees. In order for me to sell it, the price is like $400 in gas fees.
Yep, for a normal
Ethereum
NFT, that's the case.
What?
For a normal Ethereum NFT, that is the case. It's not the case for Veve NFTs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you guys could decide in the future, maybe just think about it. Maybe XRC20. It's really cheap.
Is XRC Tron? Is that Tron?
No, that's XDC. Synfin?
I don't, and I can guarantee we will never be on Synfin chain.
Oh well, damn.
Well, we're a global product dealing with a global fan base. We need the security provided by the most decentralized blockchain that exists, as opposed to sacrificing.
They're DLT, and they're dealing with the $19 trillion trade finance gap. So they're working on a lot of things. But I mean, you guys got your own decisions. I like the app in a way. It is what it is, bro.
For sure. And look, if options like that make sense in the future, then obviously we will look at them, right? We are the kind of company that looks to integrate those things for our users and collectors, but it certainly won't be on any sort of... It needs to be on a chain that offers the decentralization and security that Ethereum does, and at the moment it is the very clear winner in that space.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, man.
All right, Viking Berserker.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey guys, thanks for having me on. I just got one quick question. I just bought some Omi, and I keep hearing the term staking getting thrown around, and I'm a little bit newer to crypto.
Okay.
So when they talk about staking, is that putting your Omi tokens within the Veve app itself or the Veve wallet?
Yes.
Just holding it there, basically?
Yeah, so that is step one, to have them in your Veve wallet. When these staking features are enabled, it's basically an opt-in service, for lack of better term. So if you have tokens in your Veve wallet, you'll be able to select if you want to stake them. Now, staking them is pretty much doing the same thing. It's holding them in a wallet. You're just selecting ahead of time how much you want to hold and how long you want to lock them for, essentially. You will be able to unlock them, but the whole idea is you're kind of committing your tokens to a stake, and as a reward for that, you get specific tier benefits depending on how much you're staking. Does that tidy things up, or did I just walk in circles and confuse you? You may need to push to talk there if we've lost you.
All right. Well, assuming he's all good on that point,
Mm-hmm.
we'll go ahead and wrap up here. So we're at the 11 o'clock mark. I just wanted to say that there is another session, English session. There's also another session in Spanish. Reese, you want to give us the dates on those?
Yes. So this week, they're both happening this week. We have Wednesday afternoon, 2 p.m. PT in Ecomi Twitter Spaces. So that's Wednesday, January 19. Then Thursday, 10 a.m. PT on Ecomi Twitter Spaces will also be, that's our Spanish Q&A. We do have the 2 recordings available in the audio downloads channel as well in this Discord server, so you can go back and listen to those. They're our next ones. Now, leading up to the migration, obviously, please keep an eye on Ecomi Twitter. Join the Telegram announcement channel if you haven't seen it yet. That's t.me/Ecomi ANN. Or if you're in the Ecomi Telegram server, just ask them. They'll send you that way. Now, look, guys, I can see there's still quite a few questions. So, Alex, I'm happy to stick around for another 25 minutes or so and take some of those. But if you need to bounce,
So,
if you need to jet,
yeah, no, I'm good. I'm doing some work in the background. So I'm not really answering any of these questions.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and pull in a couple others then.
Yeah.
And then while we do that, just a reminder, everybody, that we have on the Veve side, we appreciate you being here. There's a giveaway going on right now in the giveaway channel here on the Discord for today's comic drop. And then we'll be completing that story arc, the 6-issue story arc of Kraven's Last Hunt through Saturday. And then we'll be moving on from there. But a drop every day this week on the Veve side. But for this session, we're talking specifically about Omi token migration. So let's move on now to Pat. What's up, Pat?
You guys can hear me?
Yep. We've got you.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks for having me. So my question is about the timelines that we have for the different options to migrate the Omi. I don't know if this is this specific part was discussed or mentioned. I may have missed the beginning of the call, but basically, I know someone who lost access to a wallet on their in a trust wallet, right? So when they switch devices. We're trying to figure out how to regain access. I mean, the tokens are there. We've confirmed in the Explorer, and we're trying to figure out how to get some sort of help or something. But obviously, it's hard to know who to trust and how to go about doing this. But in the meantime, obviously, this person's not going to be able to migrate those tokens either through the exchanges or through the website that you guys made available. So I want to know how much time is that site going to be up for, or is there sort of like a clock ticking because we know that at some point that's not going to be available anymore?
Yeah, so there is a clock ticking for the free and automatic options. That is sending to your Veve app or sending to exchanges. Now that clock, at this point, we are working on the 27th of January, so tokens will need to be sent prior to that. The manual swap site, being chainswap.ecomi.com, will be open until the very last Omi token has been swapped to Ethereum. So if they regain access in 6 months' time, they can still use that manual swap site, swap their tokens from GoChain to Ethereum, and then use the token as they intend. Now, when it comes to recovering your balances, does your friend have the seed phrase that they set up when they set up the wallet?
Yes, it was printed. It was not handwritten. It was printed. It was printed into a paper that was then plastified to protect against water damage. Then it was put in a safe. So all the precautions. But when they tried to import the wallet got created, but the balance shows 0, while the Go Explorer shows that the tokens are there. So
they did get access to the wallet. It just didn't display the tokens.
Well, it shows a different wallet because when we go to the send to address, it shows a different hash, and in the Go Explorer, if we put in the address that we had before from prior transactions from Bitforex, we were able to confirm, the tokens are still there, but
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a trust wallet thing. Sorry to diverge for everyone. No. The first thing to try is to go, you need to toggle on the GoChain wallet. If you've already done that and the address is different, I understand. The second option, and I will reiterate this for everybody, you never, ever, ever want to give anybody that seed phrase, right? Don't trust anybody on the internet. Never enter it online unless it's something that you have initiated. But you will probably be able to access those tokens by using MetaMask. So if you set up a new MetaMask wallet, it will give you the option to import a seed phrase. Import that, the same seed phrase that you're trying to use on Trust. And then you'll need to add the GoChain network and the Omi token to MetaMask. Now, I have those instructions already available on the Ecomi blog in the most recent the token swap instructions article. Right? Steps 1 to 3, I think, will teach you how to install MetaMask, how to add GoChain, and how to add the existing GoChain Omi token to MetaMask. So if you go through those instructions, create a new wallet and import that seed phrase, and add the GoChain network, you should be able to see your tokens there.
So we have not tried. Okay.
Yeah, give that a go. Yeah, the display thing is it's a trust wallet thing, not so much a tokens aren't there thing, and that's because it's not fully integrated with GoChain. So I'd try MetaMask.
Okay, I'll try that. Awesome.
Yep. And if you need help,
shoot
me a message on Telegram. I'll walk you through it. But again, just be careful of any scammers and anybody else that's about to send you a message.
We received those notifications.
I bet. Yeah. Okay.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No
I really
problem.
appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate. Okay. Bring a couple up. John, any questions from the chat?
Just kind of looking through. Just want to make sure we stay on the topic of the actual migration. Well, I'll ask you a question. I think it's important for you to speak into. We've addressed it before, but just speaking of best practices during a token swap, or in this case, the migration, can you talk about the importance of the copying and pasting of addresses? Like at times, people can confuse the token contract address with the wallet address, and just kind of play out a scenario with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, great point. I'm glad you brought that up. So sorry, we just got a hot mic there, I think. Guys, if you've just been brought up to the stage and don't mind muting your mic, I might just mute all of you for now. Okay. During this token swap process, if you're using the manual swap site, right? This isn't for you if you're using the exchanges or if you're using the Veve app. But if you're using our swap site, chainswap.ecomi.com, you need to use MetaMask, right? And in order to use it properly, you will need to add the GoChain Omi token. If you haven't used MetaMask before, you will also need to add the new Ethereum Omi token, right? And in order to do so, you have what is called a contract address. Now, that is just basically the smart contract identifier where the Omi tokens are created, right? Where that record lives on the blockchain. Now, what tends to happen when people are sending tokens here, there, and everywhere is that it's very easy to mix up your wallet address, being the address you need to receive your tokens to, with that smart contract address, which is the total record of the Omi token. If you accidentally send tokens to the contract address instead of your receiving wallet address, you have effectively destroyed them. You have burnt them. They no longer exist. We can't do anything about it. So anytime you are sending tokens, I will reiterate once again, please double and triple check the addresses. Make sure that you are actually copying and pasting or entering your receive address, not the contract address, right? And that is easy to do. It's within your wallets. It's usually pretty obvious. Copy and paste, or tap on this thing to copy the address. And as always, only send small test amounts. And like I said before, yes, it will cost you a bit more in gas, but You would so much rather lose a little bit than lose the lot. So please use small test transactions. Make sure you have the addresses right. Most exchanges and even most wallets will let you bookmark an address now or save an address. So once you send that test transaction and you know the address you sent it to is correct, you can save it and label it, and it'll just make your life easier. But just something to be aware of there. So if you are going through those instructions on the Ecomi blog as to how to use the manual site, you will see there the existing GoChain Omi contract address. I'm just looking at it now, step 2.4. And you will also see the new Ethereum Omi address, step 4.4. So just be sure you're adding the correct contract address and that you're not trying to send to that.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Reese.
No problem. Okay, we'll start with these on the stage. Vin, I've just unmuted you. If you have push to talk, go for it.
Hi, Reese. Thank you for another session. Can you hear me?
Yep, we've got you there.
I have a couple of questions. The first question is, I have some Omi in Gate.io spot account. Do you think I can leave it there and it will be going on to Ethereum blockchain?
Yes. At this stage, all 4 exchanges have indicated they will do the swap for you. I'll have complete confirmation of that by the end of this week, but that should be fine.
But spot account versus wallet.io, is there a difference, or I could leave it in spot account?
You should be fine to leave it in the spot account because the exchange itself will pause trading and withdrawals. The only difference, just to mention this again, on exchanges like that, the spot account is the account you can trade from. The wallet account is the account you can deposit and withdraw to. So if you're worried, just move them back to the wallet on Gate.io. But as the exchange has access to all of your balances, it shouldn't matter whether it's in wallet or spot. And if it does, they will tell you. Anything else there, Vin? You might need to push to talk.
Oh, sorry. My second question is, some of my Omi has been stuck in secure.
Just hold that button down while you're talking there. But
can you hear me?
Yep, I've got you there. Yep, I heard the secure wallet mentioned. Yes.
Sorry. Some of my Omi is stuck there. So do you think we can expect an update out before January 25th?
Yes, so we've submitted it to app stores. Android, I think, has approved. Apple wants some more information from us, which should be handled within the next 24 to 48 hours. So all going well, it will be available this week sometime.
My question is,
if it is not,
Reese, I think, I'm just another evangelical Omi user. I'm trying to get my whole family here. Thank you so much for the great work.
No problem. Just on that note, if something happens and that app update isn't available, I will release a new set of instructions for anyone who can't access their tokens through the secure wallet. But it should all be fine before next week. Cool. Thank you very much, Vin. RB01, if you are up here, feel free. I'll unmute you. Hang on one second.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, great. And I apologize if this might be a little bit off topic. Just had a general question about how this migration fits into the larger picture of Veve development. Thinking about once this migration is completed, do you expect that it will start to allow you guys to have more utility and potential integration into metaverse type applications?
Yes. Yeah. So if you're not aware, we have been talking metaverse for a couple of years now, and we are building our own metaverse universe, for lack of a better term, called the Veveverse. So moving to Immutable outside of integrations and opening us to a bigger community, Immutable's technology actually enables quite a lot more to be done with the NFTs. Our ecosystem, we definitely have plans to expand well beyond the app in its current iterations, and that's kind of the point of the move. You're on mute there if you're
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it and excited to see what you guys can do.
No problem. Thank you. Archbishop Shay, if you're, I'll unmute you there. Or you are unmuted. Feel free.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep, we've got you there.
Oh, great. Thanks for all the great work you guys are doing over there at Veve. I do have a question about my Omi token, especially the one we're supposed to send to the Veve app. So I can't seem to get around, logging into the Veve web app with the same credential I use in logging into the mobile Veve app. I don't know, is this something that is generally going on, or is there something else I, personally have to do? Because I'm a bit wary about sending it to the mobile app, right now, because I hear the Omi token doesn't show up there. So I don't know, can you confirm this and speak more about it?
Sure. Are you using Android or?
Yes, Android.
Android.
Yes, Android.
So you can access your Omi wallet inside the Veve app if you're on Android.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
it's the same. It's the exact same wallet as the Veve web wallet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes no difference if you use that address. It's the same wallet.
Okay.
To log into the web wallet, now I'm only guessing at this, but there are a few mistakes people tend to make. One is using your Veve username instead of your email address. So make sure you log in with your email. Obviously, the simple things, make sure there's no spaces before or after your email or your password.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah, sorry to cut you short. I find that a bit weird because, I had to start reading the letters word for word to make sure that, everything is the same. No matter what I tried, it just won't let me log in. And
Yeah, go.
Yeah, I was going to say, then I tried to log off on the mobile web, on the mobile app, just to make sure, like, okay, it's the same credentials, same email, same password. I put it in on the mobile app, and I'm able to access that. And then when I do the same thing on the Veve web, it just wouldn't let me.
Does it come up saying that it's sending you a 2FA?
No,
it's just not logging in at all.
Yeah.
And you're on omi.veve.me when you try to.
Correct.
Okay. In that case, you'll need to open a support ticket. Just head to help.veve.me, and our wonderful support team will try to walk you through it.
Okay.
Yeah. Before
you say help. Can you say that again?
Yeah, it should just be help. HELP.veve.me.
Okay.
And you see there's a few, there's a knowledge base there.
Okay.
If it can't be answered there, then hit that next steps box, and it will eventually take you to create a ticket.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem.
One more question. I'm not sure if I'm the only one, experiencing this. Every time I try to, grab something on the Veve app, something drops, and then I'm trying to get something. I've not been able to. So I don't know. I mean, what are you guys doing to, mitigate about bots? And because I see people selling 3, 4, 5 stuff, and I'm like, man, I can't even get one. Hey, what's going on?
So the first thing to understand is that now for just every drop we do, there are more than 100,000 people in the app trying to get that drop. So when there's, if there's 150,000 people going for 10,000 of something, your chances are pretty slim anyway. Outside of that, and not to get too off topic because we're trying to stick to Omi, but we do have the best bot protections in the world, multiple levels of firewall, and a full team of data scientists that analyze that information and are constantly updating our systems to combat any sort of bots or irregular activity there. So we do have the strongest protections in place. It is something that we are always working on because we're exactly the same. We want this to be as fair and fun for everybody as it can be. But when it comes to securing a drop, there's thousands of YouTube videos out there now with tips and tricks available. Granola runs a live drop show every drop, I think. Granola and Geomite and some of our mods. John, I think you're usually in there. They will run through a list of tips and tricks for you as well. So I would take the time to do some of that research. It might help you improve your chances.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thanks, sir.
No problem. Silex?
Hello. I have a kind of off-topic question, but it's like a very, very big concern of mine.
Is it to do with the Omi token migration?
No.
Can you please save it for another conversation, or shoot it
Yes.
to me? We've only got 5 minutes left, and I would rather stay as on topic as we can.
Can I text you?
Yeah, shoot me a message on Telegram, and I'll get to it as soon as I
Okay, thank you, boss.
can. No problem. Appreciate it. Chiku? Chiku?
Sheku.
Sheku, okay. Close. How are you?
Yeah, hi, Reese. I just have a question. Do you have some update about the Ecomi security wallet?
Yes, the being able to send your tokens, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So we've submitted the new app to app stores. Apple has requested some additional information, which we are getting to at the moment, but it should be done and dusted and live by the end of the week if all that goes well. If not, I think we'll send it live on Android anyway, so at least Android users will be fine. And if it is not sorted before the 27th of January, I will release instructions on how to access your tokens on another wallet, so that people have the option there. Does that cover the bases?
Yeah. Yes. Thanks, Reese.
No worries. Thank you.
All right, Vampire Glitter.
All right. So my question is, after the migration, when we're purchasing Omi via the exchanges, what is going to be the process of getting that Omi into the app? There's going to be bridging, of course. Is that going to be through that bridge site that you guys have now, or what's the process after the migration to like switch it into layer 2 for the app?
For sure. So first point, no, it won't be through swap site. It won't. So the token swap site, which is chainswap.ecomi.com, is purely to swap GoChain Omi and wrapped Omi to the new ERC20 Omi token. The bridge will be available through the web wallet, which is omi.vv.me. It's the same wallet you can log into now as an iOS user, to obtain your wallet address. And just so that people are aware, that web wallet will really start to become a much more prominent feature of our ecosystem, particularly as the web version of Veve goes live. As the Veveverse builds out, a lot of those interactions will happen through the web wallet. Now, I'll release detailed instructions, the same as I have for the swap site, as to how to bridge. But I'll probably do that after the migration, once the bridge is actually live. But again, it will interface with MetaMask, and in essence, you are depositing to layer 2, which is to Veve, or withdrawing to layer 1, which is to exchanges, and it will run like any sort of crypto transaction. Here's the amount I want to bridge. Confirm that amount. Confirm the transaction. Pay the gas. It's on the way. So should be relatively simple, but I'll release walkthroughs and run more of these sessions if we need to, just to educate everyone.
All right, great. Thanks so much.
No worries. We'll probably go for another 5 minutes, guys, maybe one or two more, and then we'll wrap up this session. But Lambo Calrissian, if you are live and on stage. Hello.
Hey, I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time and due diligence to educate everyone on the token swap. We all really appreciate it. So my question is pertaining to the new Omi token contract address. So when I enter that address into Etherscan, it shows a max total supply of 1,000. Is that going to change as people add liquidity into the swap? So as we swap, it's going to add to the max total supply?
Yeah, so that what you're seeing there now would have just been a test transaction to test the contracts. Essentially what this token swap is doing when it takes place or the swap site is used is burning the existing GoChain Omi and minting the new ERC20 Omi.
Awesome. Awesome.
That will change as
So that's
more.
so that's pretty similar to how Omi interacted before.
Almost exactly the same. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Thank you. So I guess no Omi to Bitcoin, huh?
No Omi to Bitcoin. Not on this stage.
All right. Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you. J1's the GOAT. Last one of the day.
Hello, fellas. How you doing? Good afternoon.
Well,
thank you. So I have, let's say, for example, I have my Omi tokens in a trust wallet. Okay. Mm-hmm. So if I want to get it onto, the Omi or the Veve, wallet, do I just, because those are GoChain tokens, right? The ones I have in the trust wallet, for example. Yeah. Okay. So I would need to send those over to the wallet address on our website on Veve, and then we don't have to worry about anything anymore after that.
Correct. That's it.
Okay.
We'll swap the tokens. They will live there until you choose to do something else with them. Yep.
Okay. Is there any particular time frame where you guys are going to stop doing this automatic swaps on there, or a time frame to get them in there? Because I mentioned you something that you're going to have something on iOS, so I just want to make sure. I want to make it the easiest way possible.
Yep. So it's the same date, regardless of Android and iOS. The date of the migration we're working on at the moment is the 27th of January. So you can send those tokens to your Veve app wallet anytime before the 27th of January. But after that, we are on Ethereum. So after that, you'll need to use the manual swap site. But as long as they're there before the 27th, you're good to go.
Cool. Sounds good, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Let's go. Omi to the moon.
That's it, bro. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I believe this recording will be made available in the audio downloads channel alongside our previous two Q&As. Just to reiterate again, we have one more on Wednesday afternoon, 2 p.m. on Ecomi Twitter Spaces, one Thursday morning at 10 a.m. on Ecomi Twitter Spaces for our Spanish-speaking family. And of course, we are always available if you have any other requests. But I think at this point, most questions that were going to come up have come up. So feel free to listen back to those recordings as well. John and Alex, anything from you guys?
No, I'm good on mine.
Nope.
All right. Thank you very much, team. Have a fantastic day. And stay tuned for a few more announcements around this in the next few days. We appreciate it. Cheers, guys.